Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Affirmative Murder, the equal opportunity true crime comedy podcast. I am Alvin Williams, joined as always by my partner in true crime, Francel Evans.
Oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Yeah, man, I'm the mailman. Can't you tell, man? Gonna post it.
What up?
Fran, we are about a month out from the beginning of the Family Matters tour. It's time to start getting annoying about this shit. We got a few weeks to spam people. We got tickets left for the Portland show. We got tickets left for the LA show. The LA show, I'm very excited to announce that it's looking like it will be featuring one Les Green, doing a couple of songs, hanging out, shooting the shit. If you've never,
what a time is going to be had, man. I can't wait because I talk to Les on Instagram, and I don't get to hang with him like you do. So I think this is a moment that's been, that's kind of been brewing for a while because I haven't seen him in a while. And
it's been in the making for some time.
Yeah, he's been talking about coming down here to Baltimore, but our schedules kind of don't mix well for me to hang with you guys.
Right.
But I think a time will be had because now I get to have a ball with Les Green, man. We better have a great time.
A time will be had, man. So get your tickets. There are still tickets available. I will be annoying. I'm letting people know now. We're 30 days out. I'm going to be, every chance I get, getting on Instagram Live, posting flyers, whatever it is, because I'm super excited for this tour to kick off, and I'm super excited for these first two shows in particular because they kind of set the tone for the whole thing.
Yeah. But
we'll be coming to a city near you starting in May. We got shows in June. We got no shows in July, but then August, September, October. I mean, it's going to be a fun time. We're going to London.
Yeah.
It's booked, signed, sealed, delivered, man. The tickets are booked. There's no turning back. America is at its worst standing of all time right now. I feel kind of weird going abroad. I don't want to get like laughed and booed at. Somebody throw a cream pie in our face or something like that.
Yeah.
In London, but we'll see what happens. I might just tell people we're Canadian. But we'll see how we feel, But I'm still excited. It's never been to London. I'm excited to go. I think it's gonna be a fun time at CrimeCon. We're gonna try to get as much content as possible for the Patreon. So if you're not a member of the Patreon, I would suggest you join now because we are going to be on it like a mug. I've been watching videos about how to vlog.
Okay, we vlogging?
Yeah, the newfangled invention of vlogging. We're super early to the party.
Better late than never, man. Yeah.
Better late than never. Yeah. Speaking of better late than never, I don't even know if it's a good segue, but I've been blown away by this. Bro, 40,000 pounds, 40 tons, I believe that is, 40 tons of chicken wash up on the shore in Jamaica. Big container full of chicken to make jerk chicken for the whole island. It caused chaos on the shores, man. People running in there trying to, because listen, I know we go over there, American people and stuff, we go over there and, oh, yeah, come, welcome home. Those people are hungry, man. It is a very poor island. And I know people go to the resorts and Jamaica's beautiful. It's a fully destitute island. It is very much struggling. So 40,000 pounds of chicken washing up upon shore. They're not trying to hear you talk about well, hey guys, like, we don't know how safe it is, man. This is food.
Yeah.
So the faster we get it and cook it, the better chance we have of not getting sick. The more we second guess ourselves, like, maybe we'll come back tomorrow and get a packet. No, man, tomorrow might have salmonella. Might not have salmonella right now. Get it and whatever. I understand the logic. Now, what I will say is mighty suspicious.
Okay.
A giant box of chicken pulling up to this Jamaican island. We know how much they love jerk chicken.
How does this happen?
It's almost like we talk about bait car.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving bait car. Because they want to rub that down with the jerk seasoning and cook. Come on, man. They're hungry. That's a feast. So it just happens to be all this chicken wash up upon the shore in Jamaica. It just, I don't know, man. It's giving government Psy Op. I don't really trust it. I don't know how to feel about it. We know how the government operates. I mean, I don't know what government is in control of Jamaica. Yeah, I think that's a British territory, I believe. I'm not sure. So I don't know if they do the same kind of psyops as America. But as we know, the crack epidemic, sickle cell, the Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Is sickle cell a man-made disease?
I don't know, but it's awfully strange that it's a black people disease for the most part. It feels weird. Okay, feels strange.
I agree.
I don't know how many diseases are race-based.
Diabetes?
No, other people get diabetes, but we could talk about sugar being, somehow the government might have poisoned us into putting so much sugar and stuff.
It has to be like more black people get diabetes than white people. That's like a fact, right?
Well, it can't be a fact because there's more white people in the country than black people. So if it is more black people with diabetes than white people in this country, we are down bad. So like not more people, but more percentage base of the population.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, we can have, that's a whole nother conversation. But also on top of all the things, we got crack, we got possible sickle cells. The Popeye's chicken sandwich was a psy op. We all know it.
Okay.
We all saw it. We all experienced it. People getting stabbed. It was insane. And those crates. When all of a sudden the crate challenge, all of a sudden there's just these pyramids, these structures popping up in black neighborhoods. All of a sudden everybody knows geometry, how to perfectly build a pyramid. And there's just an abundance of milk crates everywhere.
Yeah.
People breaking their backs and their spines. That had government, that FBI population control written all over it.
People that just doing pyramids.
People building pyramids for one. All of a sudden, you wake up, come out on the block. It's a pyramid in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
I never saw them get built. I just know that they just were there all of a sudden, and everybody knew how to build a pyramid.
I get that.
All of a sudden, everybody knows how, the ancient ways of the Anunnaki, how to build pyramids, and it just happened to be 100 milk crates in an alley somewhere. Never been that many abundance of milk crates. I grew up, man, trying to make milk crate basketball.
At one point, it was a ton of crates, man. See, I think crates were dropped in the black community years ago when I was a young kid.
What were you doing with the crates? Why would they drop them off? Oh, you just mean unrelated?
We were making basketball hoops.
Milk crate basketball hoops.
Milk crate basketball hoops.
That's not population control. That's just fun.
I think that was a plan. I think that was a head of its time plan where it was like, look,
we don't want them to be doctors and lawyers. Let's get them addicted to basketball.
Bingo. We got to grow this industry of NBA.
Let's make them think of nothing but basketball. We don't want them to be
basketball.
Pharmaceutical techs, nothing. We want them to just think about basketball 24/7. And basketball hoops are expensive.
Yeah.
But what if all of a sudden there's milk crates showing up that have the hole out of the bottom?
They already got the hole at the bottom. The bottom's already cut out of them.
So they give you this is what I'm saying. This is how the government operates, bro. You think one day somebody had some cocaine and was like, what if I put some baking soda in this and boil it on the stove?
Yeah.
No. All of a sudden there was crack just showed up.
Isn't that coincidence how all black people are good at basketball? Come on now. The NBA is filled with like 85% of black people.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not, come on now. No, it's not just coincidence.
No. This was a plan. They and also now every kid it's a generational plan. Every kid is like, oh, I want to be a basketball player or a rapper. Yeah. They have no
You don't see anybody dropping baseball bats and baseball gloves all over in the inner city, do you?
No, they do that in the Dominican Republic.
They do that in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, man.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Also, I don't know how true this is, but I don't know if I saw this on your mom's house or what, but they said that apparently the Dominican baseball players have like their own shower.
Own shower?
Yeah, because like they're so free with their sexuality that they play different. You know how over here it's like, all this. Apparently Dominican dudes are like, they might slap ass, flick a ball. And so the baseball players, homophobia and toxic masculinity is like, no, y'all do that shit over there.
Oh.
So shout out to all that one. This was news to me, but I think the guy was talking to a baseball player. He was like, no, yeah, for sure. No, they're super touchy-feely, so we just go ahead and tell them shower over there.
Shower. Oh.
Yeah, which is crazy. It almost kind of sounds like segregation, but I don't know. Like, it's a lot of stuff tied into that. But I think if everybody's consenting to that, like, hey, man, if y'all want to, instead of y'all can't stop doing this shit, so y'all can just go do it in your own back.
Yeah, he's having the ball.
They tried to tell him like, yo, can y'all stop with I'm showering. I'm all sudsy. I don't want you touching me. Oh, I mean, okay. And they're like, all right, well, y'all, if you can't stop because we asked you, go do it in there. So I think that's that's what I heard.
Okay.
How it's going down in the MLB. So shout out to them. So my point is sports, man. It progresses and it's all encompassing of all different nationalities and races and genders and all that stuff. So it really is the backbone of the culture. But I do want more for our kids.
For sure.
Like if you have the talents, sure, but you got to know something outside of basketball, sports to make it in life.
Yes.
And the government dropping off all those milk crates, we're just going to go with that being fact. The government dropping off all those milk crates to try to do that, we got to break those chains, man.
Yeah.
Got to unshackle ourselves.
I agree.
because it's a toxic league in every league you look at.
Right.
You know, they got them running around shirtless and doing jumping jacks and shit for the white man's whistle.
Oh yeah.
I don't even watch the combines anymore.
I don't watch it either.
Makes me uncomfortable. But yeah, so anyway, though, the jerk chicken box was one of many, I believe, government psyops. Which government? I don't know. But I think this was an exercise in population control. I don't know what plans they have for Jamaica, but I'm on to you. Shadowy figures. And listen, I know a box of uncooked chicken shows up. Who are we to turn it down? But
especially if I need to eat, we hungry.
Especially if I'm hungry, I don't have time to think about what's in the chicken.
Me either.
But we all wondered when Popeye's the chicken virality was at its highest, where do they keep getting the chicken from? I might have ingested highly toxic chemicals.
Probably.
But I understand. My point is, I understand Jamaican people going and just being like, fuck it, man, I'm hungry. So you do with you please, and you whip up that, hopefully chicken, whip up that chicken and make whatever you need to your heart's content, man, because it's hard out there. So, you know, get your food where you can, however you can. Because I tell you one thing, as an American, shit's about to get fucking real. You know, did you hear about Donald Trump in China? I said, like, we're not all involved.
Yeah. I mean, like, I heard about what China's doing. Yeah,
he was like, yeah, man, keep it up and you won't have any of our great beef. And they were like, oh, word? We're going to go get our beef from Australia because fuck you guys. We don't need anything from you people. What are you? This has been an arrangement.
It's business.
This is business. But
right.
I said this a few weeks ago, bro. And it's crazy how fast it happened. The dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
It happened so fast. Like, because he whipped it out.
Yeah.
And he really was talking that shit. And everybody's like, oh, I also have a penis.
Yeah. Well, this is an older gentleman. So he's like, I think he needs to come to reality where it's like, we're not the big bad wolf anymore. I just don't think people look at us like that anymore. And I think that needs to be like a reality check for him.
It needs to be a reality check for everybody because the American exceptionalism, America's like, we'll just do this and we'll tariff them. And it's like, bro, well, how we do one of those videos where it's like, look around your house, made in China, made in China, made in China.
Everything.
They're doing that. And it's like, there's nothing in my house made in America. What are you tariffing us about? And I think in America's mind, we're like, but we're America. Like, we're the best. And that's not how anybody feels about us at all.
No.
Everybody's like...
I'm loving what China's doing, by the way.
It's dope, bro. Listen, I hope that they're starting to. I feel like there's a wave coming where it's gonna, hopefully anyway, where people are not going to be brand conscious, and that will crumble our
100.
society. Where they're like, because they're showing you like, oh, the Airman's bag is from China.
Yeah,
they just send it to wherever and put the H on it, but you can just get the bag for $6. And if everybody goes, oh, let's just buy wholesale and we'll have the Louis flip-flops and the Yeezys and the whatever, and they just don't say Yeezy on them or Adidas or whatever. So, and that will crumble the fabric of America.
Yeah.
Because if Kylie Jenner, if her having a Birkin bag doesn't matter, then why are you following Kylie Jenner? Like, you're following these people because they have the things you don't have.
Sponsorships goes out the window, all that shit.
Yeah. So this is like, I don't think America was prepared for this fight in the sense that, like, you don't understand your people. And American people don't want to be hungry. We don't want to not have the things that we want. And you're going to have to flip-flop on your things because, bro, China was like, oh, yeah, we just aren't going to have beef for a while. Like, they just said that. And everybody in China was like, okay. Because they're not spoiled. Like, but now in America, you got to go, you're going to pay more for your iPhone. You're going to pay more for your TV. You're going to not have this food. And American people are like, wait, what the hell are you saying? Nah, no, they're showing up to the Congress meetings and revolting and shit and nothing's really happened yet.
Yeah.
So imagine if shit really got crazy. Though this is not that place. We're not all that pull yourself up by your, but these people are liars, bro. All this shit is, nobody in this country wants to be uncomfortable.
Nope.
So there's no all that, man. It's like, remember in World War II, everybody was making bombs and making their own jam. Nobody in this country is going to make their own jelly and butter for the good of America. Nobody cares, bro. We just want the jelly and butter and we want the iPhone and we don't want to be inconvenienced. There's nobody willing to like weather the storm.
Some people, majority of Americans can't. weather the storm.
That also.
We got people around here making TikTok dances and shit. You think people can make their own jam and jelly? What? It's not happening. No, hell no. We're doomed, man.
It's crazy, bro. We're in the middle of a storm, and this man is talking about, yeah, we're gonna bring coal back, and everybody's gonna be able to make iPhones here. Like, man, where is this coming? Do you, like you said, go on TikTok? You think any 18-year-old kid is like, yeah, I really want to have a job on an assembly line in a factory making chips for an iPhone? These kids, they wanna be famous,
bro.
We don't have these people. These people don't exist here.
China they did like an AI. I don't know if you saw this. They did an AI picture or like a video of like Americans working on like iPhones or something like that. Mm-hmm. Bags of Cheetos. Everybody's obese. I said, nah, it's crazy. I said, it's crazy.
They want $40 an hour. Yeah. Like, but this shit is not. Nah, bro, this shit is crazy, bro. This is like the dumbest way an empire's ever fallen in life. Like,
wow. Man.
I think the Romans got lead poisoning because they made their water pipes out of lead pipes. So I think that was like the beginning of the fall of Rome. I'm not a historian. I might be misremembering some of the facts.
I believe.
But America really being Wall-E is crazy. Like, everybody's just like watching screens, sitting down, eating snacks, and AI is coming to do all the jobs for us.
Yeah.
And now we're here, and the train can't. It's crazy to be like, I see where this is going. I see how this goes, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. That's the crazy part. Because best case scenario, we bring back a bunch of factory jobs, and guess what's going to do the work? Robots.
Robots.
Like, they're going to build a bunch of factories here, and nobody's going to have a job because robots are going to be building the iPhones.
Except for like billionaires.
Well, billionaires are going to be making money off of the.
That's what I mean.
We're going to buy the phone. With what money? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what money, but they're going to tear down all the trees to build these factories for robots to do the work, and we will just sit around, and eventually, I don't know how America makes money.
Yeah.
I don't know how you make money eventually. They're talking about Linda McMahon's like, the A1's going to teach the kids how to do education. They're going to have A1 teachers because she's a brain dead moron, and she thinks AI is A1 because they hired a 65-year-old wife of a wrestler to be the head of the Department of Education, and she was calling it A1.
Wait a second. That's Vince McMahon's wife?
Oh, you're not up on how dumb this country is. Yeah, you didn't catch that? Yeah, that's Vince McMahon's.
Holy shit. Wife. I've been hearing that last name. I'm like, why does his name sound so familiar to me? I'm like, no, it can't be. I'm like, it's can't be.
Oh, Fran? Oh, it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's mad dumb. Yeah, we live in the dumbest possible place you could live ever. You could look up right now a video of her getting chokeslammed by Kane.
Damn.
Yeah, we live in
this whole time. I wanted to not think that was who I thought it was.
No, that was her. That's her, man. Dead ass.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Linda McMahon is in charge of your children's future right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like,
it can't be her.
It can't be. That last name sounds too familiar.
Hey,
I said it can't be.
I understand why you would do that. Like, no, I can't be fucking Vince. She can't be related to have anything to do with fucking Vince McMahon, the wrestler, right? It must be some.
Oh shit! I did not know that.
Must be some other McMahon I'm not thinking of.
Wow.
It can't be Vince McMahon's wife.
Unbelievable.
Guess what? Spoiler alert. It is. It's Vince McMahon's wife is in charge of the Department of Education, and she thinks AI is called A1. And she thinks teachers are like useless essentially, and she doesn't know the difference between one and I. So yeah, man. I'm super excited to get out of this country for even 5 days. I'm super excited to just go and just get a breather, even if it's in the chaos of London, who has their own shit going on. And super excited. We will be coming to London next month or in June for CrimeCon UK. If you don't have your tickets, feel free to get your tickets. Use our promo code Affirmative. That will get you a discount, and you can come and see us. And you can tell us where to get some good mushy peas or fish and chips or whatever you say. But yeah, so hey man, listen, we're coming to a city near you. You can look up tickets at MadisonMcGee.com because that's right, we're going on tour with Madison McGee from Ice Cold Case. It's gonna be a super fun time. Gotta have her on before we go if we can make it work. I'd love to have her on and chat up with her before we get out there and do the live show. But you can go to MadisonMcGee.com for tickets. We would love to see you at a show. Next month, May 16th, Portland, Oregon. We'll be back again. First show was a banger. Second show is going to be even better. Second show the next night. That's right. We're like Guns N' Roses.
Back. Yeah.
Back to back. We're going back to back. We're on a fucking official tour. We're
back to back.
Listen, let me give you guys our itinerary just so you understand. Land in Portland on Friday. Do the show. Rock the show. Encore. All that. That's the crowd. We leave. Get a little bit of sleep. Wake up. Get on a plane. Go to L.A. Shows that night in L.A. at the Kookaburra Lounge.
Is the Friday show the night we land?
Yeah, we land at 1. Shows at 7.
Wow.
So we got to rally. We're going to go get some voodoo donuts. Maybe take a little nap, little siesta. Wake up. Wake up. Showtime.
Nap on the plane.
Yeah, you can nap when we're dead. Yeah, we rock the show Saturday.
Rock the show.
Friday, fly to LA, land in LA at 2:45.
Are we hanging out after the show?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So then next night, wake up, get a little bit of sleep, wake up, go to LA. We land in LA at 2:45. Shows at 8.
Cool.
Shows at 8. Rock that show. That's gonna be a fun show.
Yeah.
In my mind, Les is doing splits. We're telling crazy stories. It's gonna be a wild time. And then the weekend's over. There's not much. The show's over. We wake up Sunday. Our flight Sunday. We leave, but it's still 16th, 17th, May 16th, May 17th. We'd love to see you guys at the Portland show or the LA show. Come on out. Let's have a great time. In the meantime, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna get into some fucked up shit. So stick around. All right, and we are back. Fran, we have a hell of a story this week.
Yeah.
This one is absolutely wild, and it takes us to the Motor City, in spirit anyway. So this is the story of Lawrence T. Horn. Let us dive in. Let us prepare. I guess I'll throw a trigger warning out there to people. It might be, why not? I guess every story we do could use a trigger warning, but no, just throwing that out there for this one. So here we go. So in 1962, there was a 22-year-old kid named Lawrence T. Horn who was hired by the Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown Records. Lawrence was a Navy veteran with a knack for electrical engineering. Larry, well, I will continue to call him. Larry had, while he was in the Navy, he was like a DJ, and that's where he honed his electronic skills because he learned how to scratch and mix and all this stuff and work all that electronic equipment. He really gained a knack for it, especially because, keep in mind this is the 1960s. So I know in our mind you're like, records and speakers and a lot of audio visual shit like that. But it's like it was a skill then. It's like knowing how to code when nobody else does.
Yep.
You're ahead of the curve. Even though in our minds you go, all it is plugging the audio jack into this one thing, and how complicated could it have been back then? But it was complicated to them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't complicated to him because he learned it in a fun way, being a DJ. So he combined his knowledge of music with the technical aspect, and he became Motown's premier engineer, pioneering vocal mixing processes that are still being used today. That's crazy, man. Like, you learn a skill and how far it could take you when you just learn it in a way that is applicable to things you do in everyday life. Like, oh, I love music. I learned how to do this technology through music, and now I made a career out of it.
Yeah. That's just you doing something you like to do, but it just happens to
catch on.
Catch on, and it's like that's where the world is going at some point. It was like, oh shit, I didn't think it would get to this. Mm-hmm. But it's like it has to be luck and good timing, though, right? Like, yeah, true.
So it's like the stock market. Like, the stock market isn't exactly trendy, but it has its moments where the layman will get involved, like the GameStop moment and stuff like that. So if you're somebody who is well versed in the stock market, all of a sudden you got a bunch of people beating down your door to be like, what should I invest in? This, that, and the third. I'm like, you might go, give me $20, or I'll do a 1-hour consultation meeting for $100. So you just find yourself in the right space at the right time. I don't really know. I'm sure there's a ton of examples like that. Like if you're a YouTuber or something like that, anybody like that. Like,
AI consultant is a thing too.
Oh yeah. I don't know how any of them people are turning their cats into people.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how. To me, that's like, how'd you become a genius? And they're like, no, you just plug it into this and put it into that. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't even know where you would begin to even do that trend. It must be everybody must be geniuses all of a sudden.
Yeah.
What kind of code did you type in to turn your cat into a chubby man who works at Walgreens? But everybody's doing it, so it must be easier than I think. And I have no idea.
It is easier than you think, but like people like, people like you that's saying like how easy, and they go like, well, I'll pay this person.
Yeah,
to teach
somebody
me.
can get me easily.
Yeah, so I'll pay this person if it has to like something to do with business or like an idea to start a business plan. Oh well, I can teach you how to use AI to build that out, and you pay. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a market for everything. It's crazy.
Strong, helpful AI, but like it has its pros and cons like everything else. But like,
for sure,
I don't know if the cons outweigh the pros. I don't know if the pros outweigh the cons.
I mean, one is destroying the environment. So that's
what I'm saying. I don't know if the pros outweigh the cons.
It's destroying the environment, and we're like, hey, AI, what should I eat from McDonald's to give me under 500 calories? And it's like, oh, a whole rainforest just burned down for you to ask that question. It's like, oh, okay, well, it's fun though. Hey, look, I turned my dog into a guy that works at Burger King. Oh, you just killed like 8 dolphins.
Somebody lost their job. Every time you use AI, somebody loses their job.
It's like Christmas.
He's unemployed.
Every time you say Merry Christmas, a dove gets his wings. Like, no, every time you use AI, a guy gets fired from Amazon.
A guy gets fired from Amazon.
Well, but basically that was Larry in 1962. He was just ahead of it, just killing it. Oh yeah, making music sound more clear. I'm an expert at that.
Yeah, I already do that.
Yeah, I already do that for a living. I'm a genius. And Barry Gordy gave him a job. And then Mickey Stevenson, who was a writer and producer who worked with Larry in the early days of Motown, stated that he could build equipment that was a shock to us. Now, keep in mind, again, if you go back, you see it's like, in my mind, I'm imagining something that looks like something that would be in my uncle's living room in 1997, like a bunch of boxes stacked on top of each other with knobs. And you have to use all of these to make the music play in his house.
Yeah.
You know how old people, middle-aged people had like that kind of equipment, just 18 boxes that have knobs and screens on them.
Yeah, like an 8-track.
Like an 8-track, then the surround sound, but the surround sound, you need all these boxes to make the surround sound go. It's like this. This is going to be a very tangent-filled episode, but I was just thinking about the other day. I don't know what company another thing that got dropped off in the hood. I don't know what company in like 97 came to black neighborhoods and was like, you know what you guys need? What's the future of water is in question, and what you guys need is water coolers. Because there's not a black household that I know of, at least when I was like 11 years old, that didn't have a water cooler, that didn't have the jug. Because what I think happened was
a water cooler.
With the red and yellow, with the blue and red.
The big plastic thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But the machine.
The refill? Oh, okay.
But what I think happened was some evil company that made a bunch of money off black people came in and was like, oh, you can finance it for 24 payments and it's easy. And then they didn't tell them, but the jugs don't come with you got to you got to get your own separate water jug order. So then once the water jug ran out, I think a bunch of black people were like, I'm not paying for water. And so now I knew mad houses when I was a kid that just had the base. And it was in a corner somewhere, and it's like
collecting dust. Yeah,
it was like, and then every house I knew mad house that had like one jug full of change. So I think that was the jug that came with that was the first jug. They used it up, and then it was like, I'm not having a water subscription. What do I look like?
Well, that's how we get in debt doing shit like that, man.
That's what I'm saying. I think some collections company came and made it sound. It's like Cutco knives. Like some company came and made the shit sound fire. So you know what's fly? Who wants to get water out of the fridge? You go over here to your little water corner.
Got the cone cups.
You saving the environment instead of you don't got to wash all these dishes. And a bunch of black people were like, damn, that does sound real fly. Like it's almost like my house is a business. And then they were like, okay, so when does the next water come? Oh no, they call in the company like, oh no, we can give you the number to our water supplier. Yeah. And you can get a subscription of water. It's like, what?
Refill. Yeah.
I'm not buying water.
Drop off.
I'm just going to pour water into the little hole that's there. Well, no, sir, you can't do that. That's not how it works. It needs to come from the jug. Man, whatever. And then that didn't work. And then they just were like, all right, well, put it in the corner. I'll figure out.
And shit in there.
Putting dishes and bags on top of it just became like a piece of furniture in the house. I just sidebar. So anyway,
that's funny. Came with piggy bank.
So yeah, go in that old water box. Go in the little hole in there. I keep a bunch of silver dollars and stuff, and then you can go scoop some change out. Go to the store for me.
That's fucking funny, man.
I defy any black person to tell me you didn't have a water jug full of change. You go, why did they have this water jug?
Yeah.
Why do you guys? Where did you get this from? We don't drink water from one of these. Well, we did once. Before you were born.
I don't know how much. I gotta look up see how much those things were too. Is that still a thing?
I mean, in the office.
Yeah,
but probably not even in an office. Like probably, I think everybody just brings their own water to work.
Yeah.
But so anyway, wow. Larry was an expert on old machines, but at the time, obviously brand new. But a bunch of wires and shit. He just knew it was like Jimmy Neutron. He just knew where all the wires went, what dial to dial the shit to. He was a wonderkin. He was blowing everybody's mind, which is always good. That means you're gonna have a job for a long time. When everybody at your job is like, how the hell did he do that?
Yeah,
it's like, man, that's how I be feeling when I go set my grandmother's clock at when daylight savings time comes. She was looking at me
I did it the other day. My dad got he bought a Roku. He bought a Fire Stick.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, man, I don't know how to. I was like, you can just get it and you can take it from upstairs and bring it down in the basement in his little man cave.
How do you do that?
Man, how you do that? I can't. I don't know where to put it. You got to put the HDMI in the back. Man, this is like hearing that. He's like, I don't know what that means. And I go in there. He's like, hey man, why you here? Can you put the thing in the TV? I was like, all right, go in there. I said, he's like, that's it. He's like, you did that in 2 seconds. I was like, yeah, man, you look under the TV.
Yeah.
He said, man, I've been looking for that thing, man. I couldn't find it. I said, yeah, man, it's right there.
I go to my grandmother's house feeling like Elon Musk. So, well, the thing is, you take the HDMI cord, you take it, you plug it in, and if you want to, you can use a universal code, and you can make any remote work for your TV. She's like, what? What are you saying? I'm like, nah, it's whatever. Don't worry about it. I got you. I just did the most basic shit in the world. I don't even, it's not even nothing to me. Yeah, I took your remote from this TV. Now it works on all the TVs in the house. How did you do that? I'm like, you don't worry about it, girl. You know I got you. So yeah, this guy Mickey Stevenson continued to glaze Larry Horn for a bit. When they interviewed him, he was like, not only could he work the stuff, he would go out and put it together. That was amazing.
Relax.
He probably could have built the machines himself in the factory if he wanted to. So because he could put the stuff together, just like the guys who know how to build a computer, that's a certain kind of genius. He had the ability. He was absolutely married to what he did. When it's easy like that for you, how could you not? It's like, oh, they are looking at me like I'm the second coming of Jesus. So this will be my career. So Horn was the chief engineer on My Girl. That's the kind of credits this guy has.
Oh, My Girl, that's from like Temptations or something?
Yeah, Temptations. He's like, yeah, I'm going to turn up the decibels about 8. They're like, whatever, man.
It's like a car mechanic.
Yeah.
You tell me anything.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and change the alternator on this song. You're like, sure. Here's another $80,000. Like, he turns and looks at the camera. It's like, I didn't even do anything. I just made that up. He also worked on hits from Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson, Diana Ross, and Stevie Wonder. Bro, this is the height of Motown.
Yeah.
He's getting proud. You're taking pictures with everybody. When you're doing this good at jobs, you taking pictures with everybody. You got pictures on your wall hanging up, so you can when you bring girls over, like, yeah, I was telling Stevie the other day. Oh, sorry, Stevie Wonder. I was just telling him. I was telling him we need to set this song to Wumbo, and so I did that, and it was a hit. Like, man, nigga, you didn't make Ribbon in the Sky a hit because you hit a button. Don't try to take credit.
Yo, you lied.
Yeah, they were all lost in the studio till I came in there. And I told them to Jigamatron the Fliggly do, and that's how Mary Quite Contrary was made.
That's how that song was born, because of me. Lying. They don't even know you like that. They just know you.
So is this the guy that comes in when we finish the song and he like hits butt? I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Larry, whatever his name is. He's like, yeah. So I'm pretty much the backbone of Motown. You can get that type of shit off though when you got the pictures and stuff in your house.
Yeah, man.
Like, Diana Ross? Yeah, I call her Di.
Yeah,
but
making up nicknames and shit.
Cut to the studio. She's like, boy, can you turn my headphones up a little bit? He's like, yes, ma'am. Getting lies off. Yeah, I told her, girl, you need to cut the afro. I would say die that and lay it to the side. And, you know, she did. People be lying about their job. So the whole
a job like this, especially with a whole bunch of celebrities and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well, the whole place fall apart without me.
Yeah. I was supposed to go eat out lunch with Smokey, but you know, I've rescheduled. You know, because I wanted to see you. So you know, lying is. Want to have a nice night with you, so I told Smokey I'll be rescheduled next time.
So, oh my God, Smokey Robinson, you passed up on lunch with Smokey Robinson for me? Like, yeah, you know, girl, you know you're my number one.
Speaking of number one, that song I did create it.
Have you ever heard of Thriller?
I did produce that song. The whole conversation is him.
Yeah, just dropping names and making up lines. You sure are a PYT. Speaking of PYT, you ever heard of Michael?
Got all these planned segues in the city done.
So my mom got a divorce when I was 16, but you know, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Speaking of, I actually fiddled with the drums on that song. You know, just kind of had to. Oh, you played the drums? No, I corrected the levels of the drums.
Oh man!
All
Some
right.
kids was ringing my doorbell, and I told them beat it. Speaking of beat it, speaking of beat it, you know, Michael Jackson. I actually have to go and do some work on that song after you leave.
Yeah, so you have to go pretty early. But I will definitely call you a cab. But you know, you can't keep the king of pop waiting. So this was a fun evening.
Oh, I love my job. Can't stop thinking about my job. It's human nature.
Yeah,
Speaking of human nature. Speaking of human nature.
I could do that all day.
Bro, that's what he was. He had that.
Yeah, no,
he had to be doing.
Oh, he was dropping that all day long. So, so this was a fun day. Maybe next time we can go to the circus. Speaking of Tears of a Clown, I actually.
Oh
yeah, me and Smokey were up for hours engineering that one. That cut. Using studio words for songs.
Oh shit, my stomach hurt. Oh man.
But on a serious note, he was very integral to the system. So by the mid 70s, Motown had amassed over 100 top 10 records, and he had helped perfect the sound on almost all of them. So for all the jokes we're making, he really did have the ability to.
His fingerprint was on every song.
Oh yeah. So he could drop these. He could drop these little jokes if he wanted to, because he had the plaques to reflect, and his bank account also reflected his hard work as well, because he was being compensated very well. He was basically the engineer for Motown Records at the height of Motown Records. So in 1972, Larry was flying first class when he met an airline stewardess by the name of Mildred Marie. So he met the stewardess, but at the time he was married to the Motown receptionist. Her name was Joanna Royster. So he was running these lines on Joanna, and that's how he got her married. And she saw it firsthand. She's like, he really does. Like, they're calling him every 10 minutes to a different studio for him to engineer something for all these superstars. This guy's a genius. But, shocker, Larry, in all his arrogance, saw a younger, whatever, prettier, whatever, and was like, I like you now.
That's
and
crazy.
I'm Larry, so I have what I want when I want.
That's wow.
So, so he was smitten by Mildred, and Larry and Mildred actually got married in Las Vegas in August of 1973. So he divorced his wife a year after meeting Mildred. And now then they were married. They bought a home together in San Diego, and Horn would split his time between San Diego and Los Angeles, where Motown had moved its headquarters to. Hollywood.
And
then he'd drive up to San Diego to play family for a few hours before getting back. And according to Larry, him and Millie would get into arguments a lot, and they would separate, but then get back together. So they would break up to make up. Speaking of break up to make up, they would. I'm sure he has a credit on that song too. In 1974, the couple actually welcomed their first child, who was a daughter that they named Tiffany. And in 1979, Mildred and Tiffany actually relocated to the Washington, D.C. area, while Larry continued to do his work with Motown out in Los Angeles. In 1981, Mildred actually filed for divorce. So they made it about 8 years. Lawrence and Mildred still occasionally would see each other, much like OJ and Nicole Brown Simpson. And we know how that turned out. So it might be a little foreshadowing there. Because men like this guy, they have the same kind of ego as OJ Simpson. Obviously, two different worlds, but like as far as he's concerned, he's on top of the world. Mm-hmm. So of course he feels like once my wife, always my wife. Once my house, always. I bought this house. I can come to this house whenever I want. You are my woman. I can come here whenever I want. We can still fool around. I don't expect you to see anybody. Like we broke up or whatever, but you're still mine. Men like this with egos like this are often very possessive.
Yeah.
Despite the ongoing divorce proceedings, Mildred learned that she was pregnant with twins by Larry, which is pretty messy when you're going through a divorce. So on August 8th, 1984, she gave birth prematurely to Tamil and Trevor Horn. After 3 weeks, Tamil was released to his mother, but Trevor was not. Trevor was born with underdeveloped lungs and needed to be placed on life support. So, usually twins are like pretty small. Not that they always go to the NICU, but, it's two of them in there and they're fighting for resources and all this stuff. So it's not surprising, but they were also born premature on top of that. It's premature twins. So, oof.
Is conjoined twins still a thing?
Yeah, it's not a shoe brand. Yeah, it's
I mean, like, does it happen? Does it happen less often now? Is it like
maybe in America, but across the world, globally, yeah, that kind of.
I haven't seen one in a long time.
I think that it became more normal that TLC stopped doing shows about it.
Is that
I think that's
is?
the only thing. I think it's like kind of not as novel as it used to be.
Okay.
Where it's like I need to see an 8-part thing about this. Like, how do they date? That used to be a thing.
Maybe that's why.
And I think people have moved on to like morbidly obese people, like I have. I mean, I would much rather watch an episode of My 600-Pound Life than a show about conjoined twins. That's just me personally.
Okay. I'll probably agree with you. It's still interesting though.
I mean, unless obviously, if I saw a trailer for one tomorrow, I saw one about these two little people who are dating each other, and I thought it was
they've been all over the place.
Yes, they are freaky.
Yeah,
and I don't need to know that.
I don't need to know that.
I didn't need to know that at all. Yeah, so I mean, that kind of stuff will take precedence over conjoined twins for me. I still shout out to conjoined twins; they still exist, but I think we just have become more like that's just a thing. Like I don't think that's as like grabbing the zeitgeist like it used to.
I guess this is how the media works, huh?
Yeah, the media can convince you that you don't care about all kinds of stuff. Like,
it convinced me that conjoined twins wasn't a thing anymore.
Yeah. You're like, they still make those? Who is they?
That just don't exist anymore. I thought it just like it's like chickenpox. Not chickenpox. The what is it?
With the plague?
What is it? The plague.
Yeah, the plague. Yeah. Discontinued.
Yeah. Wait, is it chickenpox still a thing? People still get chickenpox?
People still get chickenpox. It's less of a concern.
Gotcha.
But people still get chickenpox. Yeah, for sure. Right. I think most people, thankfully, just go get vaccinated before you have chickenpox.
I thought chickenpox stopped after our generation. As we got older, I thought it was just
think probably. See, this is the thing: how COVID destroyed the world. I wouldn't be surprised if the chickenpox vaccine was the generation before ours, and so chickenpox wasn't that big of a concern for our generation, like the measles. But then people, you get so used to vaccines that people are like, what do vaccines do? And then they forget that like people used to be in fucking wheelchairs because they caught polio, and then the polio vaccine came out, and then people weren't in wheelchairs anymore and iron lungs and shit. And now you have people, the privilege of you to be able to be like, vaccines are just made up by the government. They put chips in you. So, okay. Let polio come back through for one generation and see how you feel about fucking vaccines when you see your son is in a wheelchair. It's crazy, bro. People blow my mind. That's a whole different conversation, though. So
yeah, please
don't get me started. The emails start coming in. You took the jab? I'm like, man, get out of my fucking lunatic. I hate this country.
You took the jab. It's crazy.
Get the fuck away from me, man. What are you talking about?
Call it the jab is wild.
These people are crazy. This is insane. This is a crazy country.
That's the first time I heard
No,
that.
yeah, man. You know, I'm deep in all the fucking these people. These people.
The jab. Oh, man.
People are out of their mind.
Wow.
You let Joe Brandon jab you? I'm like, man, where am I? God. Read a book.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so yeah, but anyway, like I said, so Mildred and Tiffany relocated to DC. Larry's still out here, out in LA doing his thing. And they ended up having a happy accident because they were going through a divorce, but they got pregnant, and they had some twins who were born a little premature, Tamil and Trevor, one of which had to stay behind in the hospital when the other one was released to the mom. And on September 16th, 1985, Trevor experienced what officials called an accident while in the Children's Hospital National Medical Center in Washington, D.C. His breathing tube was dislodged, and the hospital staff didn't reconnect it until 90 minutes later.
Wow.
I mean, you own the hospital. I don't know what. Like, I own that's hospitals. Not that that brings you any peace, but what do you mean?
Yeah.
The lack of oxygen resulted in severe brain damage. He would require round-the-clock care.
Like this, I thought it like. I mean, what this was in the 80s.
This was in 85.
I'm saying now it's machines now make
they kick
some
back
type
on.
of kick back on, or there's some type of alert or noise beeping when something is not connected right and shit like that. Oh, man,
Yeah.
that's
The 80s crazy. She's like, you could just make a whoopsie and like a fucking kid suffocates. But yeah, 90 minutes. I mean, he's a vegetable.
how's a premature baby not being looked at all times? Like,
90
that's
minutes
crazy.
Unattended is insane. That's what I mean. I own this hospital. This is called the Mildred Hospital now. But yeah, 90 minutes to a premature baby. I don't know if that's the proper term, but yeah, I mean, I would imagine he's in a vegetative state. I would imagine this child is just a body. I don't know how functional you could be having with
Oxygen
with no being withheld oxygen for 90 minutes. He would actually go on. He was now paralyzed and virtually blind and deaf.
Wow.
Absolutely. That's
Strong baby for sure. Because
survivor.
Right.
Yeah, fully a survivor. Millie and Lawrence's divorce was finalized in 1987. So this did not bring them closer together. They shared joint custody of their children, but they remained primarily with Millie, of course. Horn was ordered to pay $650 a month in child support, which I imagine isn't crazy when he's balling like he was balling. In 1988, they actually filed a malpractice suit against the hospital. Understandable, and of course they did. This resulted in a $2.3 million settlement in addition to $322,000 paid out to Millie and $125,000 paid out to Lawrence. So they got paid separately, some kind of compensation. I don't know what they did with the 2.3. Probably divvied that up in whatever kind of way, but that's not surprising at all. That's an open and shut lawsuit right there. Lawrence would rarely see Trevor and told his oldest daughter, Tiffany, that Trevor could never be a real son to him because of his physical and mental disabilities. What a piece of garbage. He didn't see the twins for over 2 years. So I guess in his mind, there's a lot of men out here that exist like this tragically. I think he was like, that was an accident. I didn't want those kids. So I wanted Tiffany, so that's my daughter. I wanted her, so I'm just gonna still take care of her. But those twins, I didn't want to be with their mom anymore. It was an accident, how things happen. That's her thing.
That's crazy. That's gross, man.
Yeah.
How could you even say that's?
And why would you tell your other child that? Like,
Yeah.
it's fucking sad, man. Also, on top of all this, in 1988, Berry Gordy sold Motown Records to MCA, and Horn was laid off.
My boy cashed out.
Yeah, he's like, but Barry, it's me, Larry. It's Barry and Larry. He's like, man, listen, they gave me $250 million.
But you see this check?
Yeah.
Come out of here.
Have a nice life. Thanks for putting in all those wires and everything. Good luck.
157 million. I mean, what? Yeah, 157 million.
That's a nice chunk of change.
Wow.
To retire, because keep in mind, he made all the money he made through the 60s taking everybody's royalties and residuals, and then you cash out retirement is $157 million.
Wow.
Yeah, he made out like a fat rat. Because I'm talking about if you signed the Motown Records, he gave you $37 and some bubble gum and was like, I own your likeness, your songs, I own everything.
All these talented artists.
All of the songs that you think of when you think of like the 70s, he owned so many of them, and the other person who made the record had like 10% of the record, if you were lucky. So my girl, like, you know what I mean? Like, like early Stevie Wonder, early Michael Jackson, Jackson 5. And then at the end of that illustrious career, he cashed out $457 million. Mm. So Larry actually stayed on with Motown for a time as a tape librarian, but his high salary was no more. So, you know.
A tape librarian.
Yeah, using the Dewey Decimal System.
I know he was sick.
Bro, they cut his salary.
Cut his whole job. He didn't have his job anymore.
So he was only bringing in $28,000 a year.
Damn.
And this only lasted until 1990 when he was fired. Life comes at you fast, bro.
Wow.
And this is what I mean. This is what I don't mean to keep getting political, but I'm like, in 1965, you could be a person that worked at General Motors. You could feed a family of 5.
Yeah.
All of these things. And then one day, that job is just gone.
Gone.
And you go, there were people that used to feed a whole family off a job like this.
A car, a nice single family home.
White picket fence. The American dream.
Yep, American dream.
Like, oh yeah, no, we don't have those jobs anymore.
That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore. It's like, what? No, but I'm the number one engineer. I know how to engineer on lo-fi, hi-fi. Like, yeah, man, everybody knows how to do that now. So basically, Larry Horn's life fell apart, and the reason for his firing is actually unknown. But Horn stated in an interview that it was due to politics, which I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Sure, man.
They're like, yeah, I was beloved by all the artists, and the higher ups were jealous of that. So when they would see me hanging out with Smokey, see me hanging out with Die, they were like, nah, we got to get this guy out of here. He probably has plans to take our artists. No, they didn't, man.
No.
You just were no longer useful.
They just didn't need you anymore. The time has come and gone.
Politics. In the spring of 1990, Millie used part of her settlement to buy a home in the Lay Hill section of Silver Spring, Maryland. She lived in the house with her 3 children and a live-in nurse named Janice Saunders. So Trevor, or as his family liked to call him, Tricky Trevor, or Little Trooper, defied the odds by not only surviving but improving.
Yeah.
He regained some of his eyesight and could say a few words, which is amazing. Even though he was hooked up to a respirator, he could crawl on his stomach and pick up light objects. He even attended Stephen Knowles School in Kensington, a public school that services disabled students. So he was making something of his life. And I think that that's very admirable to defy the odds, because I assumed he was going to be a vegetable. And this kid is...
Why is that the term we use?
Well, I mean, obviously, the notion is like you're immobile, like you're not there. You're vegetative, like your body's there, but you're not moving, like a vegetable.
I don't get it. I still don't get it.
Well, I mean, I might be wrong, but I'm like, vegetables don't move.
No food. What food moves? What food moves though?
You know what? You got me. Well, like Jell-O moves. I can name some foods that move, but
No, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Okay, you gave me. You know what? You got me. Somebody is gonna need to give us the etymology of why you would call somebody a vegetable. I thought it was because like if you put a carrot in a bed up against the pillow, it won't move. And that's why, like, you're a vegetable. Like, you're like a vegetable in a bed. You don't move.
Any food wouldn't move though. I just don't get why we use a vegetative state. I don't get if any food wouldn't move. Jell-O moves because you have to shake it.
Sure, but there's some recoil. Not all fruits and vegetables don't have recoil.
Sure.
You shake Jell-O once, it's going to jiggle for a little bit on its own.
Okay.
Vegetables don't do that.
I just don't get it.
Listen,
You keep saying vegetables, but any food doesn't do vegetable or not, man.
You made a great point. I told you that. I don't know how to respond to that. I don't have a response. You got me. I feel dumb. Even you made me feel dumb. I don't. That's a great point. You could call a person whatever if you're going off my logic. Why call them a vegetable? Why not call them a steak?
Yeah.
You can call them whatever. Like whatever food, the food does not move. I don't have a response to that. You got me, man. I don't know why you want to take a victory lap.
I'm just saying.
You made a
why
great
do we
point.
use vegetable, man? It just, I guess it sounds better because why would you go like, well, I figured that he would be a steak.
Yeah,
That's
like, what the hell does that mean? Yeah. I think we don't question. I think it sounds professional and we just move on. You're like, why? And I don't have the answer for you. And the answer I gave you is the best I have. And then you're like, no, all foods don't move. I'm like, damn. Well, then I don't know. Because that's a fantastic point you just made.
Maybe somebody in the medical field can help us out.
Yeah, I would love a response.
I don't get it.
Would love a professional explanation if that's not the answer to the question that I just gave.
I'm sure nobody knows. I'm sure there's probably.
I think you might have just broke open a whole bunch of. You opened Pandora's box. I think everybody's like, wow, yeah, no, every food doesn't move. That's a great point. It really is. It's a great point you made, and I don't have a response to it because, like. Yeah, I've been going off all these years. Literally, what I just said to you is in my mind. I'm like, yeah, vegetable. Like it's like a carrot or a potato. If you put it in the bed, it won't move. That's like how a person is. Their brain is not on, so their body's like a vegetable. And then you're like, well, but anything doesn't move.
You throw a banana in a bed.
Yeah, none of it moves, and that's a great point that you make, and I don't have a response to it. That's a really good point that you made. Wow, never thought of that. Never thought any further than like, yeah, they're a vegetable. Their brain doesn't work anymore. They're a vegetable. You're like, why? No food moves. Yeah, why not call them grits?
Yeah,
grits don't move.
A grits, yeah, he's in a grit steak.
Yeah, he's in a grits.
It's everything else sounds. We've been saying vegetable steak for so long. Everything else sounds insane.
It just sounds dumb as shit. So I guess, yeah. But I think that might be programming. We just accepted it, and now everything you say is dumb. Like, why would you say that?
What an episode, man! It's been a hell of an episode.
No, we're all over the place on this one. This is one for the books. This is definitely a tangent. This is the tangent returns.
Can't stop laughing.
The tangent 2025.
Oh my.
So her son, who people had low expectations for, Trevor, aka Tricky Trevor, is thriving. You know, he's exceeding all expectations. He's even going to school, and by 1992, Larry Horn was desperate financially and slid into debt. He owed $16,000 in overdue child support. Yeah, that $600 or whatever it was sounds easy when you're up.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just recently saw this. I didn't know that it piles up.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
You owe back pay.
You owe back child support.
And in the spring of 1992, Larry Horn went to the home of his cousin named Thomas Turner in Detroit. He told his cousin about his money issues, his overdue child support payments, and the small LA apartment that he was now living in. He complained about how Mildred had money and he had none, and how Trevor has $1.7 million in a trust from his settlement for them taking him off of oxygen for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
You're his parents, but that's his money. It's for the wrongfulness that was done to him. And he has like all these expenses. He has to pay for a live-in nurse. And the money is needed. It's not just money that you don't get to have. It's necessary money. So Turner handed Horn a business card that had the phrase spiritual advisor and house of wisdom printed on it. This was the information for a minister named James Edward Perry. His cousin said, "Give Mr. Perry a call. He helps people."
He walks away and it's like shadow alley.
Yeah, he disappears under a street lamp. So Turner, his cousin, would work as the go-between between the two men, probably for like a finder's fee. And in the summer of 1992, Horn went to visit his son. He made the 30-minute drive from downtown Washington, D.C. to Silver Spring, Maryland in a rented van with a mounted camera. He filmed the entire trip. When he arrived at his ex-wife's home, he filmed that too. He filmed every inch of the outside perimeter, the driveway, and the address posted on the facade. After he did this, James Perry did a little homework of his own. For $30, he was able to purchase a book published by Paladin Press, which was titled Hitman, a technical manual for independent contractors, which came from a mail-in catalog. So it's got mailed to his house.
How do you have a business card that has some spiritual meaning on it, but it's it's supposed to be like
I take care of your problem however it needs to be taken care of.
That's great.
I let the Lord speak through me.
Shady ass cousin he got. Hey, call Turner.
Hey, cuz. I think I know.
Why do you have that? Why do you?
Did you know we were going to be talking? Why do you have this card just ready to go?
Right.
I know a guy. Tell him Turner sent you.
I'm a hitman, but wow.
Well, he's not. He's like, I can be whatever you need me to be.
I can be whatever you need.
And how did I do that? I just simply went down to Barnes and Nobles and bought Hitman for Dummies. And
my bank card, idiot.
He had a book called Hitman, a technical manual for independent contractors, mailed to his home. He followed the book's instructions closely. He filed off the serial numbers of a gun barrel of a .22 caliber AK-47 rifle and affixed a silencer to the end of the weapon. Horn actually made another video on March 2nd, 1993 at 11:03 p.m. at his home in California. And why would he do that, Fran?
Alibi.
There you go. The video showed him and his girlfriend and even the time and date on the rolling channel guide scrolling away on his TV. He's like, here I am on March 2nd, 1993, Larry Horn, just enjoying some steak here in Van Nuys, California. And here's my girlfriend. She's also enjoying some steak. And it's, again, March 2nd, 1993. It's 11:05 p.m. And we're home and definitely not anywhere near Washington, D.C. I love you, baby. And by baby, I mean Cynthia, who is dating Larry Horn, who is me.
The only recording he has on the whole thing, on the whole tape. Don't record any other day.
And they're like, where were you on the night of March 2nd? He's like, well, I think I have a tape around here somewhere. I like to make home videos of me and my girlfriend. Here's this tape. It's fucking crazy ass, fake ass alibi. Sometime after 2 a.m. on March 3rd, 1993, James Perry snuck in through the basement window of Mildred's home, which I'm sure he had fully mapped out because Larry Horn went and filmed the whole house. So I'm sure he gave those tapes to him.
I mean, that didn't look odd to anybody.
Right.
He made like a 1990s GoPro. He put like a big ass recorder on his fucking head.
So do y'all lock this door at night? So you don't lock this door at night. Okay, cool. And so this is the fire escape, and this goes right up to whose bedroom? Okay, good to know. And this fire escape is always accessible like this?
Yeah.
Okay, it's always accessible.
When does the alarm cut on? At 9? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Just curious.
But yeah, he handed all these tapes over to James Perry. He watched them like fucking game film.
That's cool.
And he, while also, highlighting passages from Hitman for Dummies, and he came up with a game plan. So he snuck into the house. He found his first victim, Mildred, at the base of the stairs and shot her in the head 3 times with one bullet traveling through her right eye.
Wow.
I mean, just brutal killing.
Yeah.
He then made his way undetected up to the nursery where Trevor and the live-in nurse were located. He bursted into the room. He shot the nurse, whose last name was Saunders, twice in the head at close range. Wow. Once in the left eye. Something tells me this must have been in the book also, like headshots, like killed, execution.
Yeah, execution.
Leave no
give rid of everybody. Yep, Give rid of everybody.
This method of killing, shooting someone at close range in the eyes, is described in the book Hitman as a certain way to ensure quick and sure death.
To the T, man.
To the T. He's a student.
Rest in peace. I mean, rest in peace to everybody, but that sleeping nurse, I mean,
yeah, she's just.
How do you? These one of those moments where like these kind of things haunt me at night. Where it's like, how do you avoid? Like you have no control over something like that.
Yeah, who the fuck thinks that something like this is gonna happen?
Yeah.
You know, this isn't somebody's thought process when they're talking about job, what job you should do. What if somebody assassinates me? Or if I'm collateral damage in an assassination? Nobody thinks that. So Trevor was actually suffocated to death. Perry put one hand over the tracheostomy opening in his throat and the other hand over his nose and mouth. Jesus Christ. This is a 5-year-old, 6-year-old kid. On March 3rd, 1993, at around 7:30 a.m., Vivian Rice stopped by her sister Mildred's home like she did most days on her way to work. She was immediately alarmed when she saw that the garage door was open. She could also see that the entry to the house from the garage was open as well. When she stepped out, she heard the alarm from Trevor's apnea machine going off. Vivian quickly got back to her car and drove the block and a half back to her home. She then asked a neighbor to go back with her to Millie's house. So I think she probably was like too afraid to go any further in.
Yeah.
So she went to go get help, which I guess is understandable. Yeah. You know. They got there before the police. So I guess, they called the police. But they got there before the police and then tried to enter through the front door. But it wouldn't open it all the way because something was blocking it. When Vivian looked inside, she saw her sister lying on the floor because she had been killed at the base of the stairs. So I'm guessing the stairs were right by the door. When the police arrived, they found the bodies of Mildred, Trevor, and his nurse, Janice Saunders.
Wow.
There was no discernible or traceable evidence at the scene, and the house looked to be ransacked, though the only thing missing were Millie's credit cards and her minivan. Police believe that the scene could have possibly been staged.
Yeah.
It's like too messy, but also not. For there to be no fingerprints or anything, it's too messy. The scene had the markings of a professional hit. And this was somebody who, he read Hitman for Dummies.
He read the book.
Yeah. So Silver Spring police reached out to the Los Angeles Police Department to assist in notifying Horn of the murders, because this is his family. At the end of the day, he's the first person to get called. When the police tracked him to his mother's house, his reply was, "Am I a suspect?"
Unbelievable.
Super coy. Incredibly coy. You can't play that any better. Police were surprised by his response, and when taken to the station for further questioning, he was not cooperative. And his girlfriend did provide him with an alibi. The tape. Brought the tape. The police did not believe that Horn committed the crimes himself, but believed that he hired someone to travel across state lines to commit the murders. So they contacted the FBI for help. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Like, you're like, you guys, my alibi is airtight. It's like, it's still possible that you hired. Like, that's still an option. Like, it's not like, well, you didn't do it, so I guess you had nothing to do with it. So in the days following the murder, Millie's van was found not far from her house, but no evidence was found. The day after the murder, joggers found Millie's missing credit cards on the side of the roads. So he took the cards, didn't use them. He just took them to make it look like it was a robbery, and they just threw the cards out. So this only adds to, when they're getting all this information, this only adds to the theory of like, this is a hit. Took the cards and then just drove far away, threw them on the side of the road. Several weeks later, police sent K9 units to the area where the cards were found. During the search, they found a badly corroded gun part. This was sent to the FBI, and it was determined to be the trigger mechanism for an AK-47 rifle. Whatever the book said, he did that.
Whatever the book said, that's what he did.
The serial number had been drilled off of the part. So Tiffany, who was Millie and Lawrence's, Larry, their oldest daughter, their firstborn, was actually questioned by the police and even passed a lie detector test. She stated that in the summer of 1992, her father asked her to videotape the outside of Millie's house and Trevor's bedroom. She only agreed to videotape Trevor in his bedroom, where he was hooked up to a respirator every night, which was not suffice to him, which is why he ended up coming up there himself and filming the back door.
God damn, I gotta drive up there.
Yeah, girl, you heard what I asked you for. Everything I done for you. 2 days before the murder, Larry Horn called Millie wanting to know where her sister would be over the next few days because her sister comes and visits so much.
Yeah.
So all of this stuff started to come to light when they started questioning people, and a mountain of evidence was growing against Larry Horn.
Yeah.
But he still had that tape where he's like, here's a newspaper, and I'm in California, and you can see the date and the time on the microwave. So I'm definitely not in D.C. And he thought that was like airtight. I'm free and clean.
Yeah.
So in his initial interview with police, they found a piece of paper in his pocket that had flight numbers and times written on it. And this information corresponded with the flight Mildred was scheduled to work on the day that she died. That can't be true. Like, I mean, that is insane. Why would you have that in your pocket?
Right.
That can't be true. But yeah, anyway, a coworker called the Montgomery County Police and told them that Mildred had feared that her ex-husband would kill her.
Wow.
So I mean, she's talking about you at work.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign. On March 12th, 1993, a search warrant was secured to search Horn's apartment. They seized the videotapes that he had made, computers, audio cassettes, computer discs, and more. Receipts showed that Horn had made several trips between Maryland and Perry's native Detroit by James Perry, the spiritual advisor.
Yeah.
Whatever he was going by. They also found a hand-drawn map of Northgate Drive where Mildred lived. They did a prison break fucking map of like...
Why do you keep all this stuff?
Yeah, why are you keeping records?
He didn't read the book?
Yeah, he clearly...
should sent you the book.
Should have sent him the book. When he got arrested, he's like, why didn't you eat the map? You're supposed to eat on page 64. When you finish the mission, eat the map and any other evidence pertaining to the mission. You eat it. And this guy was once considered a genius by the Barry Gordy.
Scammer. The con. The Barry Gordy.
The police had enough evidence to put a wiretap on Horn's phones in California. And they probably gave him enough slack to be like, oh, yeah, you're not wanted. You're not wanted. You're not a suspect. We just got to cross the T's and dot the I's. He's like, okay, cool. Well, you guys have a nice day. Went straight home, got on the phone, I'm sure.
Stupid ass.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out when this money's going to come from when I killed my ex-wife. So they got a warrant to tap his phone. And meanwhile, Horn was trying desperately to access the money that was due to him.
Unbelievable.
From the inheritance from Trevor's estate. But the plan,
no time.
Yeah, bro, I need that money immediately. But the plan hit a snag.
Hey, man, he missed that lifestyle that he had, spent all his fucking money.
The stories don't work without the cars. And I can't just keep telling people I knew Smokey Robinson 20 years ago. I need to have the stuff, too.
That's dangerous, man. That's a dangerous person.
Oh, real big dangerous person. So this was his plan, but his plan hit a snag. Tiffany, along with two of Mildred's sisters, blocked him from obtaining the inheritance under Maryland's Slayer rule.
Read up on that.
Yeah, you need to read law for dummies. So the Slayer rule disqualifies a person who feloniously and intentionally kills another person for the purpose of benefiting from their estate. So yeah, if you have anything to do with the murder of somebody, you cannot inherit anything having to do with their estate. I think that's a great law.
But for him, it was like, well, I didn't do it technically.
Yeah, he's like, do you guys not see my tape?
Yeah, but I got the tape. I got the tape. I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
With the help of the FBI, detectives subpoenaed telephone records from AT&T for all the calls placed to Horn's apartment 1 week prior and 1 week after the murders. A call to Horn's home was made from a Days Inn in Montgomery County, Maryland, roughly 30 minutes from Silver Spring on the night of the murders. I mean, gotcha.
Hey, he was crossing his eyes and dotting his crossing his T's and dotting his eyes.
Yeah, he's like,
up to this point.
He's like, I just wanted to let you know that I've baked the bread. He's like, what? The bread is baked. Did you kill my wife and son? The bread is baked. Goodbye. God, I told him to read the book. Page 104. Don't say things explicitly over the phone. God, what an amateur. Then he ripped the phone out of the wall, wrapped the cord up, burned the phone. So this is where they give him credit. Look, you say what we want about the book, but the book worked. Perry had been efficient and skilled in conducting the murders, but he made one fatal mistake. He registered at the Days Inn with his actual driver's license.
And he covered that.
So bam, they got him at the scene, and then they connect the phone call to the Days Inn. They go to the Days Inn. They get him. He's in the logs. Never be in the logs. Authorities did a background search on James Perry and found that he had served 10 years in prison for shooting a Michigan State police trooper after an attempted robbery in the early 1970s.
Wow.
Since his parole, he claimed to be a minister who could pick out winning lottery numbers. What?
Okay.
That's his gimmick? He called himself Apostle James. This was the connection they were looking for. Horn and Perry were both from Detroit, and Perry had been in Maryland near the murders for only a short period. They had no other reason to be in Maryland. He's from Detroit.
Right.
Happens to be in Maryland the night of this murder. Police started looking for stronger links to secure an arrest warrant. And in September 1993, police put Perry under 24-hour surveillance. This was a joint project with the Michigan State Police and the FBI. Through their efforts, they were able to ascertain that Perry spent a lot of his time with Thomas Turner, the cousin with the card. Turner and Perry had been in prison together during that 10-year stint for shooting the police officer. Turner was in prison for robbing a bank. This was the link they needed to solidify the connection between Horn and Perry once they found out that Turner was Horn's cousin. From the wiretaps on Perry, the authorities found that he was planning to move. So I guess Detroit was getting too hot, the walls were closing in. They got a warrant to search his home before he could move and possibly destroy evidence. They recovered various bank statements and videotapes. They also found voodoo relics, Soldier of Fortune magazines, books on criminal investigations, and managing gunshot wounds. There's a book for everything, huh? It's got a book for everything. Two books that stood out to them were Hitman, a technical manual for independent contractors, and How to Make Disposable Silencers. On July 19th, 1994, after a 16-month investigation, Perry and Horn were arrested in Detroit and L.A. respectively. So they came and got them on the RICO type zone. Same time in different time zones. Kick the door down on them. Kick the doors down on them. James Edward Perry's trial was held before the trial of Lawrence Horn, a.k.a. Larry. The evidence included the tap phone calls, travel logs connecting the two associates, and telephone records on the night of the murders. Also, evidence that he had purchased the Hitman book and followed it precisely. So like it says here, shoot them in the eye. He shot them in the eye. To link Perry and Horn even more, they gave Horn's cousin, Thomas Turner, full immunity in exchange for his testimony.
Clear me from all of this shit.
He's like, we cousins, but we not cousins.
We not cousins. Me and Perry cool, but we ain't that cool.
Yeah, we ain't cool like that. We all right. He told the court that he introduced Horn to Perry and how he kept the lines of communication open between them and how he refused to continue after the murders. He was like, I didn't know they were going to do all that. That was wrong. That's when I said, no, y'all went too far. As always people say. I told him, don't do that. Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Gotta make clear the name, man.
Whatever I got to say to get the immunities in lock, right? Okay. No, I told them, I thought they just were going to talk. You know what you were trying to, when you get, hey, cuz, I think you and him might have some things you could talk about.
Yeah.
I didn't mean murder. So in October of 1995, James Edward Perry was convicted of triple homicide and sentenced to death.
Wow.
He professed his innocence, which is it's just not true. After all that, he said, the finders of fact found me guilty and have imposed the death penalty. But I stand before you this evening and I say I had nothing to do with these crimes. I am innocent and I will continue to fight the good fight. As I learned in law, how to be a lawyer. Just has a book where
another book
represented himself. And In 1996, Larry Horn stood trial for masterminding the murders of his ex-wife and son. And, of course, the live-in nurse as well. Can't forget about her. She wasn't collateral damage and unforeseen murder in this situation. The jury watched the videotapes in his possession. The surveillance video that he made in the van, the video of Trevor's bedroom, and the alibi video that he made the night of the murders. I wish I could see that tape so bad.
Right.
They saw the map that he had drawn of of Northgate Drive, which was the home that Mildred and her son lived in, and the paper in his pocket that had Mildred's flight information on it. I can't believe that's real. Like, did they pick him up? What day did they? Why do you still have that in your pocket? So, oh damn! I did wear these jeans the night that I never washed my jeans because I don't want them to shrink in the dryer. He was like, man, I told you I don't have anything on me. Y'all can check my pockets. He turned them out himself. And it fell on the ground. He's like, oh, what is this, sir? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I think I wrote down in great detail the flight itinerary for her job and left them in the pant of the front pocket of these jeans. Damn. Mm-mm-mm. Wow. And Larry's mother actually testified that her son's financial situation was dire and listed out the times he borrowed money from her just to pay the bills.
Yeah.
I guess when your son's a piece of garbage, you can only be on his side for so long. And he killed kids? No, I got to go up there. I got to take the stand against him.
A grandbaby.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's very true. His cousin, Thomas Turner, also testified against him at trial. Immediately.
Yeah.
On May 17th, 1996, Larry T. Horn was found guilty on 3 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder. He was sentenced to life in prison. I never understand how the mastermind... Like, the trigger man gets the death penalty, but the mastermind, it's like, you should get the same thing. I guess you didn't pull it. He didn't pull the trigger. He didn't pull the trigger. But he was sentenced to life in prison. This case prompted a lawsuit in 1997 against the publishers of Hitman, a technical manual for independent contractors. The lawsuit was settled in 1999 when the publishers agreed to stop selling the book and pay millions of dollars in compensation to the families of the victims.
You ever seen that 50 Cent video? So what the fuck? Why are you coming at me? What you coming at me for? What did I do? They're like, man, what did I? We just wrote the book. This is how you ought to buy it.
This is This is a work of fiction. Clearly, we're being satirical. Like we're suing you. Somebody used your book like a manual for murdering people.
Wow.
I didn't tell anybody to do that. But yeah, so they sued. The families sued and they won. They stopped publishing the book and they made millions of dollars. So James Perry's conviction was later overturned by an appeals court, and a second trial in 2001 sentenced him to 3 life sentences. So they revoked the death penalty. And in December 2009, James Edward Perry died in a Maryland hospital from an undisclosed illness at the age of 61. In February 2017, Larry Horn died while in prison at the age of 77. The cause of death was not made public. So,
wow,
probably from being 77 and, not living a great life. Is what I imagine will be. And that was the story of Larry T. Horn, man. Wow. Rest in peace to his son, Trevor. Rest in peace to his ex-wife, Mildred. And rest in peace to the live-in nurse, Janice Saunders. Absolute tragic, absolute mayhem, unbelievable murder for hire situation. I find him reprehensible, and I find anybody who would sign up to murder a child for any amount of money to be the scum of the earth. But yeah, that was the story of Larry Horn and how he went from Motown to mayhem.
It's crazy what money would do to people, man. Willing to kill your own family for a couple dollars.
For the love of money. Absolutely tragic. Before we get out of here, man, any recommendations?
Recommendations, man. I actually got some recommendations. I watched this movie. I think it's an old movie. It came out not old, but like came out a couple years ago, I think. The movie Trap. The reason why I watched this movie, it's on Netflix, is because my guy produced the movie, directed the movie. You know who my guy is.
I don't even know this movie.
My guy M.
Oh my! Is this the concert movie?
Was terrible. I hated this movie. I hated this movie.
I told you.
It was what I went. Man, you doing too much, man. You doing too much.
I told you, man. That's the concert one, right?
That's the concert.
The dad's the killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Sorry. Don't watch it.
Sorry.
Spoiler alert.
Don't watch that movie. That movie was terrible. You seen it?
Yeah.
That movie was terrible.
A lot of people believe it was all a big plot for him to reveal that his daughter could sing a little bit. And like he basically just used the movie to try to get his daughter some shine.
Yeah.
That's his daughter.
Yeah, it's his daughter. Yeah.
So,
my boy Cuddy is in that song in that movie.
Yeah, he has an appearance. He plays like an effeminate musician. It's insane. It was so dumb. Yeah, it was dumb. But oh man, I don't want that to jade you, man. I know you because you started watching movies. Don't.
That movie was terrible. I watched a couple years ago when this movie came out, The Irishman. I watched that movie. Does The Irishman have anything to do? I watched The Irishman.
It's like 3 hours
when
long.
it came out.
When it
came out.
Okay.
When it came out. The Irishman has nothing to do with Goodfellas.
No.
Nothing.
I think Goodfellas might. I don't know. I think that's loosely based on a thing, but like the Irishman had Jimmy Hoffa in it. Whole different thing.
Okay, but it had
it's
Joe
the same
in it.
people. Same people.
Yeah, the same people.
Same people.
But I figured I just wanted.
Like
I didn't know if it.
No.
Yeah. But I watched Goodfellas for the first time. Never seen that movie.
Goodfellas. Yeah.
I like that movie.
McClown, like I amuse you.
Yeah, I like that movie. It's funny watching movies and actually seeing a meme.
Yeah.
Live.
Which meme? When they're all laughing.
When they all laughing. Yeah. Watch that.
I'm funny. What am I like? I'm a clown.
Watch that. First time I seen that. It was a good movie. I started watching last night. I never seen The Hateful Eight. I started watching that movie. It's not my type of movie.
It's a slow one.
It's okay so far.
Yeah, she's so racist in that movie, the lady.
And the reason why this is why I'll say I don't like the movie is because I know there's people who smiled ear to ear watching that movie.
Yeah. Say it again.
And shit like that will make me go, I don't want to watch this movie.
She is a great actress, the lady, though. She's really good. But yeah, she is really like letting that in
bombs left and right. Jesus, I'm like, and then Kurt, me uncomfortable.
Then I think Kurt Russell said it. He was like the nice one. He was nice to Sam Jackson. I think he might have said it. I was like, yeah, they awesome. Sam Jackson, the only black person in the movie. They're all saying it to him. I said, no, this is a little.
I said, this is insane.
This is a lot.
I was like, in my head, I was like, I know people was watching the movie and was like loving it.
He was beating the shit out of her, though. She said something. Shut up, you ant. Bow. He hit her with the gun. I said, everybody kept hitting her. Her mouth was all bloody. I said, oh my God.
Yeah, I started watching that last night. But yeah, I went on a little movie binge with those.
Yeah, man. Of all, The Irishman, it was.
I seen it a long time ago, but I brought it up because I watched Goodfellas. That's the only reason why I brought it up.
You watched Goodfellas. Goodfellas, great movie.
Yeah.
Hateful Eight, surprising. Good movie, critically acclaimed movie. I'm actually surprised you watched that movie, but I liked it for what it was. It was very slow. It was very like talk. It was like a talkie.
Right. That's why I said it's not really my type. It's not really my type of movie.
Yeah, but I'm proud, man. I don't know if you know this. Listen, again, we're going on tour. I've put out a call to people.
Yeah, I saw that.
To put together a list of some movies that are like movies you have to see.
Well, I went to like critically acclaimed movies.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
You got to go to. You need the audience.
And they have some good movies in there.
Of course you do, but they're always going to tell you to watch like Citizen Kane and fucking like Casablanca and Gone with the Wind. You want people to be like, no, you need to watch Terminator 3. Like, people will tell you like, here's a movie that's just fun, great movie. It doesn't matter about the cinematography, anything like that. Like, you don't need to watch Grand Budapest Hotel. I think you do need to. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. But I don't think you'd like it. So I want people to tell you movies that they think you would like, not movies that are like the critics said that they were great. But Grand Budapest Hotel is a great movie. But I don't know if you would like it. But anyway, we're going on tour. We would love to see you at a city, and so we're going to be taking.
I'm on a movie binge right now. Send me some movies.
Exactly. We're going to be on flights. We're going to be in hotels. We need things to do to pass the time. Me, Love on the Spectrum. New season just came out. Finished it.
Okay.
This show it's so amazing, and I will say now, being a parent and watching the show, I always had an appreciation for. In a way, we were talking about this off mic a bit. I always have an appreciation for on that show. These are grown adults who have autism.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are still living home with their parents. And to see their parents, see them do something they never thought that they would do. Find love, have their first kiss, go on a date. It touches me different to see the show through their eyes. Like, obviously, I always like the character Abby and David and James, who gets on my nerves because he's so crazy and talks so much, but he finds love. To see the parents be touched by knowing that, like, at some point these people were raising kids who were nonverbal, got made fun of in school, just had a hard time, and then you're seeing them come in the house from a date and be like, oh, I think I like this person and we're going to go on another date. It just hits me in a different way now.
Yeah.
Because you just want your kid to have all the joy in the world and have all the experiences. And when some people might write their kids off and be like, I guess love isn't in the cards for them. Like, they have this mental block that might not allow for that to happen. And then they see that, oh no, that's still possible. Like, they can still do that. This season touched me in a way that other seasons had, and I love the show. But this third season, it was something special about this one, man.
I've been wanting to watch that show, and I forgot, and you brought it up. I started watching the show Bailing Out Loud.
The girl with Tourette's?
The girl with Tourette's, yeah. I started watching
She's
that.
sweet.
She's sweet. It is kind of funny. I mean, I don't know if it's okay to laugh at.
It's fun. I like, that's why people like her. Because she's like, hey, yeah, it's crazy, right? Why not laugh? Like, I just said the craziest shit in the world.
Yeah, I mean, like, so it is funny to laugh at, and then, like, you do see that people are like, oh, well, she's faking. I'm like,
why would you?
I don't know. I don't know if I can buy that one. Yeah,
like, why would you?
I can't buy into that one.
Yeah. There are people that pretend to have Tourette's. I don't think she's one of the people.
Right, but like watching that show, and like the whole thing about that show is like, you know, the fear of her parents are like, I don't know about you living on your own, because she wants to live on her own. She wants to find love, but it's like her having Tourette's and cooking, and like she could burn her hand, or she could have a knife and like do something crazy, maybe stab somebody, or like it makes a family, make their parents nervous. It's like, I don't know if that's even in the cards for you right now at this moment.
Yeah. No,
but I mean, like, she's trying, going to therapy, but it's like stuff like that was like, you know, and just like the show you was talking about, just that mental disability you have, is like, I don't know if living on your own, because everybody wants that independent, be independent and live on their own, but it's like, seeing her story, it's like, it's just not. It's like, man, it's rough, man.
It's a harder go.
It's a harder go, but to talk about that and see how emotional they get about not being living like everybody else gets to live. It's like, that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah, man. There was only one show that went in this thing that we're talking about. This was years ago I saw this show, and I saw this moment and I went, I can't watch the show anymore. It's too devastating. It was a show about people with Down syndrome, and one of the girls was a Down syndrome. She was like an influencer, and she was like, I want to have kids and I want to live on my own. I don't want to be taken care of by my mom my whole life. And she had a pop up where she was selling her baked goods or whatever, and she couldn't give somebody the change when they gave her 20 and they gave her $20 and the thing was $7, and you could just see like, oh, she'll never be able to live on her own. Like, it was so like, she just couldn't. And it broke my heart, because she was smart and she was pretty and she was funny and she was nice, but she just, in that moment, you go, you can't like pay, like somebody calling and asking you to pay rent and all. It's just too much.
Yeah.
So you really got to count your blessings, man, because everybody's not so lucky, man.
Yeah, man.
You just got to really, you know, be appreciative of the things that you do have. Before we go on a lighter note, I want to say finally, because I've known about this show for years, but I finally sat down. Me and my girl sat down and watched The Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, that's my shit.
I can't believe I never watched the show, bro.
That's my shit.
The first season is so fucking funny, bro. We're on this.
That's my guy, bro.
Blazed fucking Danny McBride. He's like, man, that dude think I'm old enough to be your daddy. I said, man, no, this shit is. I said, they cutting up on this show.
I started watching it for a while, and I got it, and I've been meaning to get back onto it, because it was on HBO, I think, right? HBO. I canceled my HBO. I got to get it back, but I watched the whole first season.
Yeah, the first season was crazy. Judy Gemstone, the sister.
That's my show.
No, that show is. We're on the second season now. The Righteous Gemstones. And I'm excited because it's like,
I got fired back up now that you brought it back up.
It's 4 seasons, so I'm excited because it's like we got mad episodes.
Yeah.
I can't believe I let this show. And I'm an Eastbound and Down fanatic. I love Danny McBride. But this one, I don't know why I just let this one pass for years and I never checked it out. And I feel so dumb, but now I'm excited because I got mad episodes to watch. So I definitely recommend Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Adam Devine. That's my guy. You know, I'm a workaholics guy, so like, that's my dude. Bro,
I mean, listen, if you haven't seen the show, it's no spoilers, but he has like a henchman. That's my favorite character on the show. He's like, I would follow you anywhere. He said, I would kill myself if you asked me to. I said, no, this is crazy.
Damn, I got fired back up now.
He said, no. He said, no, that was too far. But I would, though. I really would do it. I said, he goes, he got like a mullet. I said,
Yes, I love that show.
But to let people know, if you haven't seen it, mad dicks. So just as a head up, just to let you know, like, I mean, they like love dicks on it. Every episode is a dick out. It's crazy how many dicks is in the show. It's like more dicks than Game of Thrones. And for people, if you know, you know. This show has more dicks than Game of Thrones. But I definitely recommend it. But hey, folks, again, like I said, we're going on tour. May 16th and 17th. We'll be in Portland and then LA. And then you can go to MadisonMcGee.com. And if you see a show near a city that you're in, get a ticket, man. Come out. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to have a fun summer. We hope to see you at a show. I've been Alvin Williams, joined as always by my partner in true crime, Francel Evans. And we'll see you guys next week.
Deuces.